All rock, total hawk summer. I think I put up the mic too early there, Geoff.
Jeez, my God.
No, let him finish. All
right.
He's talking to his son.
Talking to his son about being simple.
He's like, boy, I want to be a simple man.
Be
and
a
I need
dullard.
you to help me.
Help me
Be a simple man.
Help me be a dullard.
Yes, a dullard. That was the original title of
Be a
Leonard
dullard
Skinner's Simple Man. It was dullard.
I mean, have you seen the way that they spell Leonard and Skinnerd? I mean,
How did they spell dullard? I can't remember.
dullard had a dollar sign in there.
Oh, of course it did. Of course it did.
And a Z somehow?
Can you imagine everyone just yelling out at not a Zeppelin? Well, I mean, it'd be weird
it
at a
could
Zeppelin
happen.
show, but could you imagine everyone at a Skinner show just being like, "Blind Dullard,
Man, I mean, that would be
Dullard"?
I mean, wouldn't it be also fantastic? We replace Freebird, everyone yelling that old tired joke, and we
God.
replace it with Dullard.
That old tired shit.
That old tired shit. Scotty, put up that delay because we're talking Skinner.
Scotty, we're gonna need at least a 15-minute delay. We're talking the Skinnerd.
Talking skins.
Oh.
On 108.9 The Hawk.
Hey, it is the Whisp Turlington Show. I am Jason Gore, still sitting in for the one and only Whisp Turlington.
And I am Geoff the Angry Man Garlock, still sitting in for me. I haven't been kicked out of here by the FCC. And
It's really weird that you were not kicked by the FCC, because you were just as much a part of that conversation with Sunset
don't throw me under the bus.
as Whisp was.
Is a phrase I learned from that Channel 8 new reality show, Don't Throw Me Under the Bus.
Oh
which is
my
fantastic.
God, so good.
They line up a bunch of elderly people at a bus stop.
Yes.
And they are crying.
Oh, it's just
Like, just scream, please don't throw me under the bus. And at least 4 of them get thrown under a bus every single time. And they're about to die anyway, so it doesn't matter. And we all have a good time watching it.
I mean, the bus doesn't move. The bus doesn't move. That would be cruel.
I think
and
it's
unusual.
just the heart attack. It's just the worry that the bus is going to run them over.
It's
and
the
they don't know
impact.
what's going on. They're old.
They don't know that the bus isn't going to move. That's
also the alternate title of Channel 8's Don't Throw Me Under the Buses. They don't know what's going on. They're old.
Oh, Channel 8, you make us happy every single day.
You're home for great shit. Glad we got that 15-minute delay on.
For great shit. They've got that. They've got Booth Rescue. Also,
Booth
Geoff,
Rescue.
I don't know if you know this. Now, of course, I was in Jamaica when this series started, okay? Mm-hmm. But now I've been able to catch up, and tonight on Channel 8 is the finale of those horny royals. And the good people...
The series finale.
The series finale of
This is
those
it.
horny royals. This is it.
Till it gets rebooted in 2 weeks.
Until they decide, like, well, maybe we do another series. Kind of
The
like,
second to last orgy will be the second series.
Yes. But the good people at Channel 8,
and they are good.
they are great.
They are
great
wonderful.
people. The good people at Channel 8 have sent us a clip from tonight's series finale of those.
I'm sorry, is Nuno Bueffincourt in studio today? Because get the funk out. Are you kidding me?
He's not even in studio. We do have Skeet Ulrich, though. He's coming up
Ulrich.
later in the 9 o'clock hour. What's going on, Skeet? He's made his own Magic Eye poster.
I can't even believe
And he
it.
wants to show it to us, which we're
What
like,
do you think's
Skeet,
gonna
that
be in
doesn't
there?
really work on radio, but, you know, he's
Doesn't
got
work,
something
but
for us. It's always good to
he's-
see Skeet.
Skeet always has something up his sleeves.
He always does. Always.
Is that what's going to be in the 3D Magic Eye
God,
poster?
it's
Is a
just his
picture of Skeet
sleeves?
Ulrich with something up his sleeves?
Up his sleeves? Oh, my God, I hope so. But first, let's go ahead and hear that clip from those horny royals, the finale airing tonight on Channel 8.
Sire, it appears we have received another letter from Lady Darlington.
Oh, well, I must read this post haste. Interesting. Well, I do believe this one doesn't make me feel horny at all.
On the contrary, sire, I believe it makes you feel the horniest.
Oh, I do believe you're correct. I am the horniest I have ever been, and now I shall run for king.
Indeed, sire, for that is how it works.
What? He's gonna run for king now?
Running for king. And I mean, I thought I understood how the British monarchy worked, but
You run
apparently
for king.
I didn't.
It's an
you
election.
Run for it.
You run for it. You have to campaign but only if you're a horny royal. So here's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
I don't want to get off on a Jeff the Anchorman rant.
Oh, no,
here.
go for it.
But I got to get off on a Jeff the Anchorman rant here.
Wait, do you want your music?
Could you give me my goddamn sounder, please? Look, I don't want to get off on a Jeff the Anchorman rant here, but I'm going off on a Jeff the Anchorman rant here. What are we all complaining about the British monarchy for, people? Seemingly, according to those horny royals, it runs exactly like our democracy. And I see nothing wrong with our democracy. So if I want to vote for a king that's running because he wants to have more orgies, let me vote for a king.
That was good. That was really good.
I mean,
that was
I don't even know if my point was that good, but the timing was dead on.
The timing was dead on.
And that's all that matters when you're doing morning radio is get that timing goddamn right.
Get the funk out.
Get the funk out, Nuno. We got to put that on a shirt. Nuno, don't sue us.
Don't sue us, Nuno. 7:02 on 108.9 The Hawk. Big morning here on the Whisp Turlington Show. Of course, it is your all-rock Total Hawk summer. Got a lot of events coming up for that. We will do community calendar coming up very, very soon. It's a service of Valverde Valley Radio Partners that lets you know what's going on in the Greater Valley area. And right now, callers, call in. Part of all rock Total Hawk summer. Of course, the game we're playing this morning is what dog name are we thinking of? And it's your chance to win some Hawk Bucks. What dog name are we thinking of? Give us a call right now on the Hawk line. And it looks like we do have someone on the line here right now. Who do we have?
Oh, man, we got Rufus here.
Rufus, welcome to the Whisp Turlington Show. Rufus, what dog name are we thinking of?
I'm thinking dog name of Rufus.
Nope. Okay, that's done for Rufus. We got someone else on the line. Who we got?
Yes, this is Telly.
Oh, Telly, welcome to 108.9 The Hawks.
Hello.
All rock Total Hawk summer.
All right, Total Hawk. That's the name of the dog.
What kind of dog name you think that we're picking?
I think it's. I just said it. I think it's All Rock Total Hawk.
You really think that's the dog name we're thinking of?
Yeah, that's a good name. If you've got like a poodle or a
hang up on that one. No, that's a bad name. All right, Telly.
Okay, one more call here before we get to our guest here. Okay, hi, you're on the line. What dog name are we thinking of?
Smiley, the one who laughs when he walks amongst the row.
Nope, that's not
wasn't it.
You gotta have to try harder than that. Give us a ring. We'll take some more.
Too long. You can't have a dog name that's long, and also that's scary.
That gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Heeber-jeebers right there.
Heeber-jeebers. Oh, speaking of,
I was into that, dude.
I know you were keg stand. That's really great. Hey,
I'm a creep. Keg stand.
You are a total creep.
You really are a creep.
And we don't know why you were hired, but that's a Wisp decision and not us. Hey, speaking of, did you see the movie Heeber-jeebers?
Now, I started with Heeber-jeebers number 3.
Right. You got to go back to number 1. Or you're never going to understand who the Heeber-jeeber is.
From the get-go, I didn't know what was going on, and I just went with it. I just was like, I'm going to stick with it. And Skeet, I got to say, I'm looking at you right now. You were wonderful in Heeber-jeebers number 3.
You did so good. You did so good in Heeber-jeeber 3.
When you shot Lance Hendrickson right in the penis.
He's real humble. Oh, my God, that was the best.
And I was like, am I watching Pumpkinhead or am I watching Heeber-jeebers number 3? And I didn't know, actually, because, again, I've only seen Heeber-jeebers number 3.
But if you listen to the soundtrack of Heeber-jeebers 3, you know that, there was a man behind that really brought just such quality, such art to the soundtrack. He's done this for so many movies, even the Hey Girl trilogy. I'm talking Hey Girl, It's Me, Hey Girl, It's Me Again, and Hey Girl, It's Us in theaters soon. That's the multiverse version. How many Keanu Reeves are we going to see in Hey Girl, It's Us? Maybe GLENALLEN MIXON will tell us. GLENALLEN, welcome to the Hawk.
Thank you, guys. Great to be here. Wow. Heeber-jeebers, you guys, that's a deep cut. Nice to be amongst some super fans.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is. It's a deep cut. The music was fantastic.
That's what made Heeber-jeebers.
The way that you used the car's drive during that one brutal attack of Heber Jeeber against that school trip.
Yeah, and I got some pushback on that from Lance, who was the producer on the movie. Anderson, good friend of mine. And Skeet, by the way, tell him I said hi. We haven't seen him since we wrapped on that. And
he is waving so enthusiastically.
I mean, double-handed wave.
Double hands.
Skeet and I bonded so much, and I think Lance was jealous, honestly, and that's kind of where some of that resentment comes from and the pushback comes. I don't want to get into it, but maybe that's, hey, I know it's a no censorship, or maybe it's a censorship zone, apparently, as I've learned. But
we've got the 20-minute delay on, so you can say whatever you want to say.
1.9 The Hawk Morning Show, you say whatever you want, and then maybe we'll bleep it out. That's what censorship isn't, all right?
There you go.
Even if it's about Lance Hendrickson.
We leave that
exactly.
in. Yeah.
Especially if it's about Lance Hendrickson. But so that was a great time. I picked some great songs for that. Although Heber Jeebers was an original song, the title song was of course recorded by Chubby Checker.
Don't get me.
He was still alive at the time.
I'm going to do my best impersonation. I'm going to do my best
power.
impersonation of that song. Here we go. Come on, baby. Let's Heber Jeeber. I don't know if I did it as well as Chubby Checker.
Chubby, I thought you were dead.
I tried.
Are you alive?
I tried.
B+ on the song, but you also stood up and did the famous dance craze that catch on.
The Heber Jeeber.
Plus on that.
It was the dance where you have to like hold your leg up and then jump the other leg through. But with the Heber Jeeber dance, you have to do you jump it through, but then you jump it back.
You got to do the kid and play, but backwards, and then most people fall on their asshole.
It required incredible dexterity for a song.
Truly
while
make
singing,
popular
it's
not the Macarena that anyone could do, or the child.
I mean, I'm amazed that's not what killed Chubby Checker. Is that he was trying to do that dance nonstop, or maybe that is what killed him. I don't know.
Probably what killed Chubby Checker.
We were skeptical in the studio, and then he perfectly did a Heber Jeeber. You would not think it to look at him, especially at 88 years old. But
at 88, and he's doing the Heber Jeeber in front of you.
I'm sure you were telling him, Chubby, no one's seeing you.
He's like, no.
You can just sing it, Mr. Checker.
He's like, no, I'll do it again. No, I'll do it again. And you're like, no, we got it once.
It should have been Flexible Flecker, honestly.
That is very true, though. That is very, very true.
But R.I.P. Chubby Checker.
R.I.P. Chubby Checker. Hey, GLENALLEN, 1 second. Tina, you're on the line. What dog name are we thinking of? I'm so.
Hey, I want to name that dog Snoopy.
Snoopy?
Snoopy.
Nope, sorry, Tina. Wrong radio station.
Hold on a second.
What?
That's the problem. I was thinking of Snoopy.
You were.
We weren't lining up this. I think
oh my God, that was your
one
name?
flaw. That was my name. That was what I was going to call the dog.
I guess we have to start over then.
All right.
All right, callers, give us a call right now. What dog name are we thinking of? Really quickly, though, what dog name are you thinking of?
I mean, I'm still thinking of Snoopy.
Okay, we'll stick with Snoopy then.
I'll stick with Snoopy.
All right, give us a ring. GLENALLEN,
yes.
When you got into this business, basically, you've done the best. You've done the best music supervisor jobs on so many amazing films. Like, you did Forrest Gump and Forrest Gump 2, which...
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, that was, my father... I got in this job through my dad, and he, of course, is a legend as a music supervisor.
Yeah.
Standard Mixon, one of the best. I love Standard Mixon.
Standard, yeah. He's still alive, still kicking.
I loved him. Rest in power, Standard Mixon.
I said he was still kicking, but
love him. Just kicking it with Chubby Checker in heaven. Right
he
now.
is a bit of a hermit, though. So that's he doesn't. The rumors have circulated that he passed, but he's just sort of a hermit. Partly because the fame got to him. He's a legend. He was the first music supervisor to put All Along the Watchtower in a Vietnam scene. And I mean, you got to understand, at the time in the 60s, no one was doing that. He puts that in there, and it was like, boom, just the floodgates were opened, and an industry was born. Specifically, you could make a career just putting Fortunate Son. I'm sorry. That as well. That's what it was.
Right.
CCR. Your father's the one who was also suggesting, how about All Along the Watchtower?
But I tell you, anytime I think of the war in Vietnam, and God bless our troops and everybody that was there and fought for it, I can't help but think, like, when they were walking through the muck, and they were walking, through the trees. That had to
Cigarette
have been
pack
playing.
in their helmet.
Yeah, cigarette pack right up here.
Yeah,
Little Lucky Strike or whatever.
Peace sign.
Yeah,
some sort of white, a bottle of a white sort of looking bottle. You don't know what it is. Yeah.
Some candy bars in their pockets to give to the kids.
Possibly some racial epithet that we don't understand written on the helmet.
But it's really rough.
Don't know about
it's
all that.
really rough on the helmet.
Yeah,
cool.
it's better that it's faded into history.
Better that's
Absolutely,
faded into
yes.
history.
My dad has thrown a couple of those out, and it's never a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your dad also is well known for still wearing a Vietnam helmet. He didn't serve, but I think he did serve.
No.
Honestly, by putting the music in this, I think
Believe
it's
me,
honorary service.
Believe me, so does he. He has 6 convictions for stolen valor. So
I mean, those should
I'm
be
sure he
thrown
agrees
out.
with you.
Those should be thrown out.
Throw
I don't want to
them
get off on a
out.
Jeff the
Thank
Angry
you.
Man rant here. But throw me
my
that sounder,
God.
please.
Okay, here it comes.
Look, I don't want to get on a Jeff the Angry Man rant here, but I'm going to get on Jeff the Angry Man rant here. When I was watching the Ken Burns, the Vietnam War movie soundtrack documentary, I do not feel that Standard Mixon was given his proper due for bringing All Along the Watchtower and all of CCR's B-sides into Vietnam documentaries. And I'm putting you on serve there, Ken Burns.
You know why that didn't happen, Jeff. He got kicked. Standard kicked both Ken Burns and the camera.
I mean, that's
Strong
because he got
legs.
accused of stolen
Strong
valor.
legs.
Yeah, Ken was not happy when he learned. I mean, did he tell Ken that he was a thrice decorated Vietnam hero?
Yes.
Did Ken appreciate that?
No.
But, when you think of what that song did for the memory of Vietnam, I mean, maybe a federal pardon's in the cards. I don't know. But that's part of the reason why I kind of took a different path with my career. I saw he was a legend, a controversial one at that.
Right.
That's why I specialize in, picking the songs that not just in the movies themselves, but the trailers and the montages, which are in the movies, of course. I really wanted to forge my own path because I love my dad. I tell him that every day. But,
we love you, Standard Mixon.
I love
We
you,
love
Dad.
you, Standard Mixon.
If he can get his compact Presario up and running that I bought for him 26 years ago, I'm sure he will appreciate that.
Just blow the dust off, Standard.
Yeah, he does not
Like a
trust
Nintendo
it.
cartridge. Just
He doesn't really have. If he gets the oxygen mask off, I'm sure he will blow as hard as he can.
Oh God, I hope so.
But I think I'm carrying on the family tradition. You mentioned Skeet Ulrich. We not only worked together on Heber Jeevers, but I worked with him. I met him on The Craft.
Really?
In the mid '90s. Yeah, we really hit it off. That was a rough one because I was insisting that the song "Witchy Woman" be in The Craft because they're witches.
Because they're witches,
Makes sense, right?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
clear.
You got 4 high school witches walking down the halls of a high school. Why wouldn't they be listening to Witchy Woman?
They said, "GLENALLEN, this is a '90s movie. We're trying to do hip, cool '90s punk, grunge, goth music." And I said the first time that came to mind, Witchy Woman, which is okay, maybe a little bit earlier, but
Yeah, but you could have had like Real Big Fish or the Cherry Poppin' Daddies do a version
Covering
of it.
Witchy Woman. That would be
Yes.
wonderful. A swing version of Witchy Woman.
we did reach out to the Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Yes.
You couldn't get them at the time. Couldn't get them.
Oh.
They were too
Their
hot.
schedule was
Too
just
hot to
way
handle.
too booked.
Too
Way
cold to hold for
cold.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy as well. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
I mean, this was the swing revival of the time. That was kind of sort of those were meager days.
Sure.
Because you can't really if you just have wall to wall swing music, not a lot of need for a guy like me to.
No, but if you have a tasteful scene from The Craft where they're performing light as a feather, stiff as a board, and you've got the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones performing a cover of All Along the Watchtower, I just think that could have worked wonders. And this is pre-controversial, dicky political opinion, so there would be no problem with that too. I think.
Yeah.
I think no one would have a problem with that.
There must
Well,
be
anyway,
something around
Skeet
here.
Skeet
Pick
had
'em
my
up, pick
back.
'em up.
Skeet, you always got his back, don't you? He's shaking his hands twice.
Oh, yes, he did. He did.
And I'm already picturing. See, this is my job. So, like, you got me going now. You got the wheels turning. I could see the tie-in music video.
Yeah.
We're in the Mekong Delta in the 1960s, 68, and through the brush.
Yeah.
Come some U.S. soldiers, but they're not wearing the greens. They're not wearing the fatigues. They're all wearing big suits.
Yes, they are.
Bedoras lifts his rifle, except it's not a rifle. What is it?
It's a guitar.
Trombone.
Yeah. It's a trombone.
Exactly.
Shit, I was wrong.
And you think it's Dickie, but it's Firuza Balk because it's the craft. And it'd be a wonderful
Firuza
seed.
Balk comes out. Maura Tierney comes out.
And they part the grass, and then there is a huge stage there, and a bunch of people dressed all, in big suits all around it. They're ready for a fucking show.
Ready for a show. Ready to skank it up in the middle of the Mekong Delta. Dodging Agent Orange left and right.
There's napalm dropping everywhere behind them. There's like that, and it's real. That's real. That's not real. Special effects.
That's reality. Actors are in peril the entire time.
And Real Big, and then that would have charted higher than Real Big Fish's cover of Why Can't We Be Friends? I mean, that would have been.
God, it would have been amazing.
Talking, that would have been 101, 102 on the charts.
Easily 102.
That's
102 at the time. Of course, there was That was, of course, back in the 90s when for about 6 weeks, Billboard had a ska cover chart, a chart just for ska covers. Now, not just ska.
No.
It had to be a ska
covers.
Had to be a ska cover, and we're also that's not including a pop punk cover. This ain't, unless Me First and the Gimme Gimmes is also adding some horn sections. It ain't getting on that list.
And you were well known. You were the father of ska covers because you put them in all kinds of movies.
Well, it was, I mean, this was a lot of teen in the 90s. We had a lot of teen movies coming. Right. You had your She's All That. You had your American Pies.
Yes.
And you had ska going. And I figured, listen, if we can't get the rights to this song, loophole, ska version, different band, same song, same energy. Boom, you got Why Can't We Be Friends in basketball.
Fantastic.
Check one off for GLENALLEN MIXON.
I mean, you're not paying for those rights if every 3 seconds you've got the backup skanker just going hit. It breaks it up.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of courts felt differently, but the great thing here is
ska courts. Ska courts. Let us be clear. These were ska courts.
Right. Yes. The judge
third wave ska courts.
Yes. The judge is wearing black on one side and white on the other.
And there's usually the dreaded bass player from Less Than Jake sometimes. Yes.
Yep. Instead of a gavel, he's just hitting. It's just a martini glass, like a martini glass. He's sitting down 3 times.
Exactly.
So
I never want to go to ska court. I never want to go to ska court.
I think it's a strange interpretation of the Constitution. I don't know how it was, but the 90s were a weird time, guys. We were prosperous.
God, weren't they the weirdest?
The internet was launching. A lot of weird stuff happened.
And you were one of the few people that understood that when you've got a movie, you got to stop letting the orchestrated synthesizer soundtrack set the tone, to set the mood. That a true horror movie, a true teen movie, should have some hits that are happening right at that time, and half the time let them be ska and or swing, just to let the kids know.
We can all agree that The Shining is a masterpiece, but would it be better with a little bit of ska covers?
100%. 100%.
That's what I thought. Kubrick disagreed. I got fired.
Shit. Fuck Stan Kubrick.
Stan Kubrick don't know shit.
Stan Kubrick, you can eat my shit.
If the moment that Jack Torrance was walking up those stairs saying, honey, I'm not going to hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your fucking brains in. But it was accompanied by the Cherry Poppin' Daddies doing a swing cover of Lovely Day by Bill Withers. Now that would have been a horror movie that Stephen King would have actually backed up.
Oh, my God.
I was on a Jeff the Angry Man rant, and I didn't even know I was.
It didn't even trigger the sound.
It's not The Shining, it's The Swingin'.
The Swingin', now we've got it.
Swingin'.
Are we happy, Mr. King?
Oh, hey, we're got so much to talk to GLENALLEN about, but first we do have to go to traffic.
108.9 The Hawk Traffic with Art Spart.
From the Bart's Funeral Flowers traffic desk, it's Art Spart, 108.9 The Hawk Traffic. Wow! If you're thinking about taking a nice Sunday stroll this weekend down Hog Street, maybe pick up a Gold Burrito from Seabird's Burritos to chomp on while you walk hand in hand with your loved one and take in the sights and sounds of Valverde before you stop into Rock Dolls and pick up that Gene Simmons costume from Music from the Elder update for your Gene Rockdown. Don't do it! Because Hog Street is going to be jammed up with the annual Smoke on the Vapor Vape Festival. Now, that's not happening till this weekend, but the entire street is already full of tailgating. Power Man 5000 fans. Or at least that's what it looks like with their combo of affliction and steampunk accoutrement. And vape smoke as far as the eye can see. Or as far as the eye cannot see, because I can't see anything already. I just smell the wafting stench of cotton candy vape and cherry vanilla vape and new car vape. All being blown by the worst dudes imaginable getting ready for the trick contest. Blowing rings! That's right, if you want to enjoy that Gold Burrito, you're going to have to dodge the dragon's plume, or Odin's ballsack, or even the stained jester. All stupid names for stupid vape smoke tricks. That, for some reason, seems very important to these dudes who spend their time working on them. And we let that happen, Valverde, by having this annual convention. We let it happen. So, we only have yourself to blame for what hell is wrought upon traffic this weekend. And for the smell of caramel apple unicorn fart vape. And this has been Traffic from Art Spark from the Bert's Funeral Flowers traffic desk on 108.9 The Hawk.
With Bert's Funeral Flowers, with Bert's Funeral Flowers.
I gotta say, that is a bad thing happening. But guys, it kind of feels like we're in Nam right now, right? Yeah, man. Hendrix, I'm a hawk.
Out on the road today, I saw Shawnee's sticker on a Kia Soul. A little voice inside my head said, get to Shawnee's, you better get to Shawnee's. Empty plates, empty grills, ate more than I know. Out in the parking lot, walking very slow now. I can see you, Shawnee's shining in the sun. You got your hair tied back and your buffet gloves on, baby. I can tell you my love for buffets will be strong after the buffets of summer are gone.
And make sure you get to Shawnee's before the buffets of summer are gone. 78 buffets. Things we've never done before and never will again. Whole rotisserie chicken buffets. 30 buffets with every kind of corn dog. And Chili's you can walk around in. Experience the buffets of summer now, before they are gone forever. Only at Shawnee's.
Get ready to enter a world of nostalgia and revisit your favorite childhood show. It's a magical factory where at night a mannequin dummy comes alive, teams up with a giant puppet that kinda looks like an elephant mixed with an anteater, and through the magic of song, dance, mimery, and magic, this unlikely duo will get all the packages out before Mr. Kringley gets angry at them. And that's probably about as much of the plot as you can remember in your quote-unquote favorite childhood show, except for those weird cartoon segments they would cut to now and then, where for some reason there are panda bears who are detectives who are also at a high school that's in space, and in some way it teaches you rudimentary algebra. Either way, Morgan Freeman and Adrian Barbeau show up in it. What was this show? It only lived in your memories until now, in Waldo's Factory Strike. Wait, was there a character named Waldo? Maybe that was Morgan Freeman. On the Channel 8 Afternoon Nostalgia Rerun Block. Channel 8, your home for great shit.
Hey, K-Slob, why don't you kick rocks and eat shit? Yep, that's just another friendly message from your crosstown rock radio rivals, 108.9 The Hawk. The Whisp Turlington Show on 108.9 The Hawk. School's out! Alice Cooper on 108.9 The Hawk. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7:15. In the
Can I
second
say
hour of the... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I am always shocked that song ends not with "School's out forever,"
Completely.
but completely, which just feels like it has one extra syllable that shouldn't be there.
I always pictured it as a high school student who's like, you know what? Fuck this. And then they get their GED.
Yeah.
So school's out completely until they do those night classes at Valverde Community College.
Exactly.
And get that GED, the JED.
They get the JED and they pay for it by doing those night classes in adult nude modeling.
Yes. Very popular classes at
At Valverde.
Well, that's at the Valverde.
You gotta go to the Valverde one for the adult drawing classes, if you know what I mean.
I'm so mixed up this morning because, I mean, we've got one of my favorite music supervisors here. We've got
also smelling vape left and right.
I thought smelling cherry vanilla.
I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought it was like when you smell burnt toast, but instead I was like, oh, it's cherry vanilla. Oh, God, this is happening. No, it's vape.
I see. We do have some of the vape flavors on our desk that's being used at the vape convention or being revealed at the vape convention. One of these is Dirty Clown. Have you seen this one? Have you smelled it?
I smelled it, and I was going to tell you, Jason, I know this is an audio medium, but maybe take a shower. But now I realize that's just the Dirty Clown. Oh, you think it's a Dirty Clown? Okay, I think that's the Dirty Clown.
Not a Dirty Clown.
No. But what I thought it was, I'm realizing it might be that. It might also be the Swamp Ass vape flavor that you've also got there.
That's a huge one. But that's that's like doubling up for most of these vapors, right?
Oh, for most of them,
they've already got that swamp ass.
That's more like
going.
You're putting patchouli on. So when you just smoke some swamp ass, that covers up your swamp ass. That you already got.
Stand. What do you think about these scents?
Those are all my favorite flavors because I stink. Cake stands.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I guess that was an input.
I guess it is a flavor. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, caller, you are on the air. What dog name are we thinking of?
Hello, I was thinking of a name of Snoopy Swampass.
Ah, you were close, so close, but you added a little too much at the end there.
Wow.
Sorry about that. What dog name are we thinking of?
Rules here. All right,
here we
gotta go over.
Let's see, one more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be called Donnie the Mangler.
We told you what half of it's gonna be. Hang up on these
said
idiots.
The name. Okay, I'm hanging up.
This game is showing what bunch of dullards we have in Valverde sometimes.
But he does bring up a good point. Donnie the Mangler, one of my favorite horror movies that I did want to bring up with GLENALLEN MIXON. When the director of, Paul Verhoeven came up to you and he was like, look, I'm doing Donnie the Mangler. I'm bringing Donnie the Mangler back. What was the first thing that you thought in your head?
Well, first thing was his Scandinavian accent made it sound like he was threatening me.
So it was a little bit more of a.
That's
Well, is Paul Verhoeven in here?
Oh my God!
Am I right?
More fun Zizek show up? I mean, goodness gracious!
If he is, hi.
Have fun.
Hello, because he's probably armed.
No, he probably is. Like Donnie the Mangler.
Donnie the Mangler was, that was a tricky one. That was a tricky one because what Paul told me is he strictly wanted the soundtrack to be wall to wall ABBA. Now, don't get me wrong.
Really?
Love ABBA.
Love ABBA.
Huge ABBA.
Love ABBA.
Notoriously hard to get the rights to their music.
Yes.
They're like Led Zeppelin. They're like the Led Zeppelin of the North.
Yes. They have been called the Zeppelin of the North. So many times.
They wish they write a lot of songs about being druids, but ABBA, they kind of are druids,
They
They're
are
living
the
in Sweden.
druids.
They kind of are. They disappear for a very long time and then show up with a new record out of nowhere. I mean,
sometimes they deal with total darkness. Sometimes they deal with total light. I mean, they are druids.
But they're a peaceful quartet, so it's a little tricky. I'm asking him to do a hard X slasher film.
But did you reach out to them? What did they say when you contacted ABBA?
Well, it was surprisingly easy. They're just abba@gmail.com, and they respond immediately.
God,
I always forget that trick. People, you got to remember, you want to talk to your favorite celebrities.
Yes.
Just take a gamble. Just type their name and put
shot.
@Gmail.
Tom.cruise@gmail.
You're going to be surprised how many people that are celebrities don't realize there's no line of defense there.
How do you think Paul got Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks to be in Donnie the Mangler?
Finally, Tom squared in Donnie the Mangler. This is fantastic.
That was the advertising. When I walked through Times Square, when I visited that terrible town, New York City, and I looked up, I saw Tom squared, and I knew, oh shit, Donnie the Mangler's coming out soon.
The thing that I loved about your soundtrack music supervising for Donnie the Mangler was that you heard, interesting, Portishead did a wonderful cover of SOS by ABBA.
Oh, yes.
For the movie High Rise.
Yeah.
And then you thought, what might be missing in there?
Pick 'em up.
All of a sudden, a little bit of ska. So you got the Toasters covering Portishead, covering ABBA, doing SOS. And I thought it really pulled it together when Donnie the Mangler was videotaping mangling all those dogs on screen. I thought that really, and I couldn't tell if it was Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks because I was overwhelmed by the It was beautiful.
Pick 'em up.
It has the distinction, which some people aren't proud of, but I am, of being both Tom Hanks's and Tom Cruise's lowest grossing movie, despite
$23,000.
$23,000 is correct.
And that's including
all went to ABBA, by the way.
That is including Tom Cruise's debut in the movie Losing It, and Tom Hanks' debut in the made-for-TV movie Mazes and Monsters, where he thinks that a game of Dungeons and Dragons is going to kill him. And amazingly, this movie did less bank than that.
Guys, I'm just going to run down the soundtrack here, and you tell me, Glenn Allen, if you can tell me, just a little bit of, just a couple words.
A quick anecdote.
A quick anecdote behind the recording of these songs. We've got,
love this.
This was the Donnie the Mangler's soundtrack. We had the Aquabats doing Money, Money, Money. What was that like?
So that one, Benny took a special interest in that one. Because that song, he just had a lot of personal. I mean, the guy has money at this point.
He does.
He has my $23,000 that the movie made. So we had a bit of a. I'm still communicating with him, trying to get that. I've Venmoed him many times to get that money back, but that was a tricky one to get. Ska really isn't about money.
Right.
So the band, the Aquabats, were a little hesitant. They said, we don't do this for the money.
Sure.
They said, can we just call it ska, 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 which of course we did.
Of course. And every band that plays, ska band that plays on the Warped Tour always starts their sets by saying this. This is not about the money. It's the most punk rock tour is the Warped Tour, as we all know.
I will say it was a very early on in No Doubt's career where it was very early. We had just really discovered this band. They were coming into our hearts, and I feel like they really came into this heart when you had them cover ABBA's I Have a Dream for the Donnie the Mangler soundtrack. What was that recording session like?
Well, Gwen, who is a personal friend,
of course,
she insisted that they all record separately. And so that's when I kind of knew that maybe she might be thinking already, and we're talking early on.
Yeah.
That, people think Don't Speak was the beginning of that. That's the song that signaled that there was some fracture in the band.
Right.
But I think it's, because they all liked a different member of ABBA. Mm-hmm. And much like ABBA, I think they kind of wanted to, I think doing ABBA planted the seed in their brain of we want to split up and be the ABBA of ska. In fact, she said that to me multiple times. Wow. At the top of her lungs.
That's what broke up her and the bass player from No Doubt, is that they both like different ABBA members. Because I remember reading in Gavin Rossdale's autobiography, A Whole Lot of Bush, that he liked the blonde one in ABBA, and so did Gwen Stefani, and that's what bonded them.
I got one more question for the Donnie the Mangler soundtrack, and then there's another huge movie we have to ask you about, Glenn Allen.
Please.
But I always wondered, the closing credits of Donnie the Mangler, where Donnie's he hasn't been captured, but all of his bodies are piled up around them, and he's having kind of a quandary like, do I like being the Mangler? And just such a powerful scene, and then Goldfinger's Andante plays on top of that. And why did you choose that to close the movie?
We wanted maybe a slightly deeper cut.
Yeah.
To kind of close the movie.
I feel that.
We figured that, listen, ska was so big at the time. Mm-hmm. You kind of, it was overshadowing ABBA. There was even talk of is ska the new ABBA, which I found insulting personally.
That's really insulting.
I say this to someone who, as we've been talking about, single-handedly kept ska afloat in the film industry for 15 years.
Single-handedly.
Single-handedly. Just me. And so that was the director, Paul, he wanted his own, a very obscure Scandinavian band that I can't pronounce. The name is 400 letters long and half of them have umlauts. Oh, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Yes, that's the actual name. The phrase I just said is the whole name.
Translates to, yes, they're good. Yes.
They are good. Yeah, it takes that many letters in Swedish to say that.
I know I haven't been here the whole episode, but are we good? Are we all right? Greg Lemonsour had to jump in because I love the Swedish group.
You were just walking by.
Who has a split with Traitorgoria Kriget, one of the greatest Swedish prog bands. And when I say, are we all good? They say, that's good.
He was just walking by. He was
literally,
just walking
that was
by,
like
and
a drive-by. Greg Lemonsour.
Honestly, it feels like I'm back in. It feels like I'm back in the office with Verhoeven because he had similar thoughts.
Yes,
he had similar thoughts, and that was that's kind of that was kind of the beginning of the end for me for about 5 or 6 years because that was the height. We're talking peak Verhoeven. He's coming off Recall. Verhoeven. He's coming off RoboCop. He's coming off Basic Instinct. Movies I did not book, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, you did have that tie-in with Tony Hawk, Pro Skater #2, and Donnie the Strangler, where a lot of the songs were kind of Venn diagram overlap.
Don't say Strangler.
I was thinking about the sequel that, unfortunately, I'm sorry I brought that up, they didn't bring you back for.
And also, it was not anywhere near Donnie the Mangler. It was all Matthew Lillard playing both the Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise parts. It just didn't. It was a real Highlander 2 situation.
It was not, and it was not a quickening. It was a slowing, if you know what I mean.
It did introduce us to a young, scrappy up-and-comer named Scott Conn, though. So it's not that
my God, that is.
I think we can all agree he stole the show.
Stole the fucking show.
All agree. If there's one Conn I like in film, it's Scott Conn.
Scotty Conn.
Is there another one? I'm sorry.
I don't want to go off an Angry Man rant. James Conn has always been overrated.
Wait, I'm sorry. Scott Conn's father
is James Conn.
Also acted?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, is he good? Is he any good?
He was in Honeymoon in Vegas, and I think that's the only movie he was in. Oh, he was in Elf, too.
He was in Elf?
I think he only did 2 movies.
Yes,
James Conn did Elf and Honeymoon in Vegas. But other than that, and that's why I say Scott Conn is a much better actor.
More movies. More movies.
More movies means better actor.
So it was, I guess it's nice that his son found success where he did not, I mean, I love, now I could picture it now, Honeymoon in Vegas. I know the guy you're talking about. He's pretty good in that movie.
He's pretty good. But it's like a standard Mixon Conn situation. Like, look, I love your father and I love his work, but I'm just gonna say it, GLENALLEN Mixon. You're the winner in the Mixon family.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've had a good career. I'm pretty proud. Luckily, I bounced back from after the great Paul debacle, as I call it. He kind of dragged my name through the mud a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Hard to understand while he did it too. He was saying so many Swedish words while he was just dragging you through the mud.
I don't.
Which is odd because he's Dutch, and we're like, why are you speaking Swedish this whole time?
Why are you doing Swedish? It was a whole thing.
Get over it. But he got confused with Sweden. I don't know.
He was like, he would say things like, "I'm the emperor of that entire corner of the globe." So I think he just
sounds like Verhoeven.
He felt he owned
Emperor Verhoeven. We bow to you.
It's like a Dune character. I love it. That's fantastic.
But I think I bounced back. I think when I was the first person to put Spirit in the Sky over any trailer about angels or
space
or space or angels or the church. I'm talking Michael. I'm talking Keeping the Faith with Edward Norton. Anytime you see a trailer for a comedy that in any way involves heaven.
Yep.
We're No Angels with Sean Penn
Spirit in the Sky.
And De Niro,
Boom.
Spirit in the Sky. It made you think this movie's going to be funny, and then that movie wasn't as funny as you thought it was going to be.
Funny, but also a little religious. Just a little religious.
A little religious. A little bit.
And that version of the Pie Tasters Spirit in the Sky that you put in Dogma was just beautiful.
Kevin was over the moon.
Yes, it was.
Over the moon. I mean, he put Knock on Wood. He got the whole ball rolling when he put Knock on Wood ska cover in Chase and Amy. Look it up.
I looked it up.
I will look it up. I will look it up. You know what else I'm going to look up? Community.
Cover of, by the way, interesting choice to make a cover of a song that was already a ska song, but that was Kevin. That was Kevin.
Hey,
sometimes ska
Snoochie
covers
Boochies is what I say to that. All right.
I also say Snoochie Boochies to Community Calendar, a service of Valverde Valley Radio Partners. We want to let you know what's going on in the Greater Valley area of Valverde, so get ready for this. Now, first off, you do not want to sleep on the Valverde County Fair, people. It is the only county fair in the world that goes on for 6 months. And from the 1st through the 17th, they partnered with Shetland Creameries for the Hot Milk Spectacular. Have you ever tasted how hot milk is straight from the cow? Well, you will at this event, including the all-new Valverde Fair Shetland Creameries Hot Milk Slurp competition. That'll have all your favorite competitive slurpers. We're talking Vincent Walnut Jeff. What? We're talking Vanessa Brazil Nut's going to be there. The Throat.
What?
Snake Jaw McTalbot.
What?
Professor Swallow, and so much more. Make sure you're there at the Valverde County Fair for the Valverde Fair Shetland Creameries Hot Milk Slurp competition.
Going to be fantastic. You also got to be ready for the Valverde High School Senior Musical. Yes, we know school is out, but it's happening this week. They couldn't get it together before school was done. But we are going to be blown away by their production of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. And of course, that is going to have local bully Billy Chandry, who's been placed in
He picks on me so much.
He picks it. You're not in high school. He still picks you, but that's why they stuck him in the Get in Step program, where they help out wayward teens and turn them around through the power of musical theater. Of course, local Daytime Emmy winner and senior who thought he was guaranteed the lead, Jackie Junt, is still protesting Billy's placement in there, but should be an amazing show as long as Billy, as Spider-Man, does not put Kraven the Hunter into a chokehold that literally will pass him out. Kraven, of course, being played by local nerd Stan Jr. So you gotta get your tickets because they're gonna sell out fast.
You gotta get your tickets.
You gotta get them.
You gotta, and that's Community Calendar, a service of Valverde Valley Radio Partners. And we do have to pay some bills, but really quickly, Glen Allen, we're going to go into a song. When you had Fishbone do this song, Flirtin' with Disaster by Molly Hatchet, for the Hey Girl, It's Me soundtrack, I spit my soda out in the theater and I said, yes, finally.
Thank you. Yeah, that doing that whole series was just a dream come true.
Wow.
And Keanu was so gracious with his time. He had a lot of input, which the actors normally, they're not really doing the music supervisor job. But
we're gonna hit the post, the hawk.
It's summer, and that means hot dogs. So come on down to Fletchy's, the best split-top hot dog in all of Valverde. And I know what you're all saying. Fletchy, it's too hot for hot dogs. Valverde has an unprecedented heat wave. It's 120 degrees during the day. Turn down the ovens, and I say, go to hell. We're Fletchies. We put the hot in hot dog. And I'm not going to bend over backwards to you people and now put in air conditioning cutting into my bottom line because you're sweating your balls off for once in your life. Screw you. And make sure to try our new summer special, the Ghost Pepper Relish. And if I see you complain about that being hot, then I'm going to split your face open, take that Ghost Pepper Relish, and shove it right in the open wounds. We're Fletchies. We're tired of all your complaining. Eat the dogs we give you, Valverde.
Hello, it's me, Mickey Mac, with a PSA. When you're younger, adults always tell you the dangers of strangers, or stranger dangers. But I feel you should get the same warning as an adult. Anytime a stranger walks up to you, you don't know if they're gonna ask you a bunch of questions. Like, where's the post office? If train A leaves the train station at 9 a.m. and train B leaves the train station at 11 a.m., what time are they gonna get to Chicago? Or which track is your favorite off of GNR's Lies EP? These are all questions that strangers strangers have been known to ask. If you're an adult and you hear a stranger ask one of these questions, they're probably gonna follow it up with, hey, would you like to see the inside of my van? I have a 1987 Bon Jovi Coke mirror that I won from the Valverde County Fair. Hey, I'll give it to you. And then you'll say, it's me, Mickey Mac, which will be a big no-no because you shouldn't identify yourself. And then the stranger will say, oh, okay, well, great. But they already knew. And then you go to their van and they open the door, but who's there to surprise you but Richie Sambora and John Bon Jovi from Bon Jovi? And they jump out together in one movement and beat the hell out of your captor. Now sure, this is a scenario that obviously went perfectly, but it's not always gonna be like that, and John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora aren't gonna always have your backs. And with that, I reiterate, adults, do not talk to strangers. And that's a PSA from me, Mickey Mac, at 108.9 The Hawk.
Paul Rogers and his buddies was the original name for Bad Company.
That was the original name, people.
The original name, Paul Rogers and his buddies.
I think a better name. I'm going to say it.
But then they wrote the song Bad Company, and they're like, wait a second, there's something here. That same thing that Green Day did.
Just like Green Day. Just like that's not the only comparison between Green Day and Bad Company, I would say.
Oh, please. There's hundreds.
Incredibly loud walking bass lines. Just like in and I know you're out there in Radio Land, you didn't hear it through our amazingly compressed version of that song.
Yes.
But if you could hear it through these cans, you could actually hear that bass just walking the dog all the way home, if you know what I mean.
Well, we've been hanging out with one of my favorite, I think the music supervisor, number one, numero uno, as Wisp would say.
Wow.
I have to ask you about this. I have to ask you about this film. Not only is it one of my favorite movies, but the soundtrack was incredible because you took a moment in time. You saw that alt country was going to be the next big thing.
After ska, yes.
And you did a soundtrack of all alt country artists doing hits from the 80s. So we had Uncle Tupelo doing I Want to Dance with Somebody, which was wonderful. We had Nico Case doing Wake Me Up Before You Go. We had Lyle Lovett's Jesse's Girl. And, of course, I'm just running down the songs from the movie Daddy's Away, of course, featuring Rachel Lee Cook and Devon Sawa. Probably the best movie ever made. A love story, a space story, a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. When you got that gig, what was it like? Was it like I finally made it? Really?
I was in shock that I would be working not only with Uncle Tupelo and Jeff Tweedy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But that I'd be working with Devon Sawa.
Oh, please. Dreams are finally made.
You would have had to pinch me. You would have had to pinch me. The guy from that music video?
Please. I mean,
the Eminem video?
Yeah. I believe Aerosmith video, I think.
He was also in Final Destination, right? He was in that one, and I think that's all he did.
Idle Hands, which I worked on. Right. Yeah, that was kind of the end of my ska run.
Yeah.
I was already kind of becoming the pop punk run, but the writing was on the wall. But no, Daddy, that was a great one. You know, it's got a complicated legacy. Some people say that the reviews were so bad, Uncle Tupelo had to change their name to Wilco to escape the bad reputation that it gave them.
Unfair.
Wait, so you're saying I thought it was always like internal band clash. So you're saying that Daddy's Home basically created Wilco and Sunvault.
Wow.
In a way, you know, there's a tradition in films called Alan Smithy, and that's if a director's film is so bad they don't want to be associated with it because the studio interfered so much.
Right.
They will take an Alan Smithy, which means they.
Is that like a mulligan?
Film is directed by the pseudonym Alan Smithy is used. So and so the music equivalent of that is the Uncle Tupelo or the Daddy.
Taking the Tupelo.
They just call it the Daddy.
The Daddy, yeah, just for Daddy for short. We're referencing my film. And that is when you're on a soundtrack for a movie that is so bad, it retroactively almost destroys your band.
Now, I know that this soundtrack didn't sell much, mainly because it was 5 discs, which was a lot right out of the gate. But
you had to play at the same time.
Yes. to get
the Flaming
like that
Lips saw that
tracks.
soundtrack and they were like, "Hey, that's not a bad idea."
Get it.
Yeah, we get it. You get it.
What was the thinking when you convinced Roseanne Cash to do Salt and Pepper's "Push It"?
I wasn't thinking of that. That was an instinctual move. Ooh. That was an instinctual move. Sometimes you pick these songs, and you're not. It's not a logical choice, but it works out. You know, when I the first time I made a movie about baby boomers cutting loose and decided to put that trailer to the song "I Feel Good" by James Brown.
Yeah. Oh, please.
I didn't overthink that.
You didn't.
I just knew.
You felt it.
I want to see William Hurt dancing on top of a table. I want to see Kevin Kline,
dancing on top of a table.
Smoking a joint for the first time in 25 years.
Yeah.
Takes me
back. I feel good. It's edgy but safe, which is really honestly
Takes Me Back is also my favorite boomers remembering what their life was like before they got old and boring.
That was the sticker on the Big Chill soundtrack. It said "Takes You Back,"
which was the original title of
The Big Chill
was "Takes You Back."
And Kevin Costner played the corpse in the coffin. I don't know if you knew that.
But he did have a musical number before that, and they cut it.
I feel good.
He did. I feel good.
And he's dressed like the character in Yellowstone, which was very prescient.
Nobody had time.
I really thought that would have been a fun way to start the movie. Honestly, not end it even.
That would have felt like a fun Jim Belushi movie, but nope. I don't know. I guess we're not going to.
Yes, and of course, Jim. The Belushis are close friends because every film I've ever worked on, day one, really, I get an email from Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi saying, "Put the Blues Brothers on this album.
Oh man,
it's time."
So even when you were like doing the ABBA collaboration, what they wanted to do Waterloo? I think that's the rumor. They wanted to do a Blues Brothers Waterloo.
Blues Brothers 2000 covering Waterloo.
I have a dusty temp track
really
in my garage of them, and it's actually a hidden track on the Blues Brothers 2000 soundtrack, which I didn't work on because at that point they were so mad at me for never putting them. I didn't put them on I didn't put them on the Daddy movie. I didn't put them on Heber Jeebers. But
so you're telling me there might be a version of BTO's Taking Care of Business from Jim Belushi's starring vehicle Taking Care of Business being covered by the Blues Brothers? You're telling me this is a possibility out there.
I mean, the rumor, that's what it's sort of like. It's like the Jerry Lewis comedy movie that's lost.
The Day the Laughter Died, or whatever.
The Day the Laughter Died, which I did do the soundtrack. My dad did the soundtrack.
Of course, standard work.
That was a 100
standard. My dad, he has a lot of fun stories. He claims the movie is a masterpiece. He's seen a cut of it.
Really?
This is, of course, Jerry Lewis's infamous. Holocaust comedy, which is a real 100% real thing, by the way.
Yeah, 100% real. And I always trust people who say that that's actually a great movie. I always trust film fans who stand behind that.
Anyway, so he's one of 6 people who've seen that movie, and he will not talk about it. He will not reveal any details about it.
He just kicks you when you ask. He just kicks you.
He kicks me much like he kicked his collaborators in the past.
Oh, my God.
Like I said, it's just instinctual. First time, I had a unattractive person in a 90s movie trying on clothes. I said, "I'm too sexy. It's got to be I'm too sexy."
That's the thing. Everyone does that. We never knew that Rachel Lee Cook was going to be sexy until you on the nose told us, "I'm too sexy." And then all of a sudden I was like, "You're right. She's not a nerd. She's very sexy."
Absolutely. And when she comes down the stairs, of course, that they play Sixpence None the Richer. Had I been on that movie, forget that song. No one remembers that scene. No one remembers Sixpence None the Richer and Rachel Lee Cook coming down the stairs and she's all that.
No.
But you put I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred on that.
Everyone remembers.
It's hilarious.
Everyone remembers.
That I love that part, the drum part in I'm Too Sexy, where it's just like because that's when you know that like they're first off going to reveal how sexy they are, and second off they're just going to it lets you know the party's starting.
And it's relaxing because you know that they don't have any controversial opinions and political opinions in Right Said Fred, just like Dickie Barrett from Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Whoa, what is going on?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm afraid to Google that.
Yeah, you don't want to look up Right Said Fred's opinions on, let's say, anything, or Dickie Barrett, and we'll
I
just
believe
put
he
that in
legally
the
changed. He legally changed the band's name to Far Right Said Fred.
Oh, those skinheads weren't for nothing, if you know what I mean. And Right Said Fred.
GLENALLEN,
what is that laser?
Jeff,
Did you? I heard.
Yes, I hate to interrupt here, but it seems that the building is being shot with lasers.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, you can see the walls shaking. This is very odd.
Oh my!
And
I thought it was just shaking because I was
Jeff.
talking to GLENALLEN here. But what?
Jeff,
What is it?
Look out the window. You know what it is.
It's very nice, but yeah.
You know what? I'm piecing all together before I even look, and let me look. Does it add up? 2 + 2 =? Yeah, that's Wisp. God damn it!
You guys hear me?
Hi, Wisp.
Hi, Wisp.
Are you droning the
Are
building
you droning
right now?
the building right now?
No.
You're not. So all of these drones that are surrounding us, and I can count. They've got their numbers going. I see number 14 through 27.
There's
all
69.
around us. There's
Nice.
69. Of course, it's always a funny joke. But you're telling me these Wisp trademark drones are not being run by you?
Not at all. No, I wouldn't do that to my favorite guys in the studio right now, being pummeled with lasers. I wouldn't do that. That'd be a terrible, 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 terrible thing to do.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yep. Here we go. All right, GLENALLEN, hold on a second. He's gonna do something terrible to us.
Should I be concerned?
You might want to be a little concerned. What do you got for us?
108.9 The Hawk Studio. You fucked with the wrong DJ. Once again.
Wisp, it was not us. This was Boss Ron, 100%.
And the FCCC. We do
And
not
the
run
FCCC.
government agencies.
You pull me from my beloved studio and my beloved show.
You've been surfing on dolphins in the Caribbean.
Yeah,
what are you
we saw
complaining
you
about?
at the patriotic parade last week. You seemed happy as hell.
Happy as a clam, and the clams are very happy.
And now you get GLENALLEN Mixon in the mix.
Hi.
And I'm not even there to talk about Daddy's fucking away.
Possum Dixon did have a good cover of I Feel Good on there.
Oh, it was really good. I love Possum Dixon.
I love Possum Dixon.
Drones. 43.
You're adding more.
44.
We already did 14 through 27.
45.
Okay, that's a bit more.
46.
What
Through
do we need to...
511.
Oh boy, what do we need to do, Wisp, to stop this?
Raise them to the ground.
Oh my
All right.
God.
Yeah, GLENALLEN, can you just hold on to your
GLENALLEN, I
seat
would
handles
leave.
for a second?
Yeah, Skeet,
Yeah,
get out of the building, please.
I do not have military experience, despite my father's claims and my claims. So
Oh,
I
should
don't
we
know.
call Standard in? Maybe he could help out here. Maybe
He's
not.
he's
not
firm.
coming. Yeah, he's in front. That's not.
Drones would scare him.
That is true.
Okay.
All right.
Should I
Okay,
leave?
I see them all lining
I
up.
don't
Let's
wanna-
get the
I
fuck
don't
out of the
wanna-
building now, guys. Run. Run.
Okay. Well, I guess we're running.
right,
Come
okay.
on, GLENALLEN, we're running.
All right.
And now it is the interview.
Real cliffhanger there.
And the explosion of 108.9 The Hawk.
Maybe we'll find out next episode.
We'll find out next episode. So you suspend Whisp Turlington. He's had a great time all this time. Mm-hmm. And Pat, I don't know if you know, Wisp has an army of drones like Stark Industries style.
No, I got like 80% went through the last episode, so I just missed. I guess I missed it, or is that like an ongoing thing?
It's an ongoing thing.
It's
like
not,
he
he's
has,
always got drones.
he drones his enemies. He has droned a chicken wing restaurant called Flappers that Jeff loves. And
I gotta get more into myth. I love the mythos. The Flappers, I knew. Yeah.
yeah. So he's finally become a total villain, and we'll find out what happens next on the next episode of 108.9.
Did you know that's how you were going to end it with him?
I
and
knew
Bailey?
it. I knew. I did have some notes that that he's still suspended, and we start to realize drones. We were going to realize drones were hovering earlier, but then I figured, no, let's have him just blow the whole fucking thing.
We like
up.
to write a handful of notes that we hardly
are-
get
yeah.
to towards the
I'm
end.
a real clutch clutch episode here.
Yeah, you were in a clutch episode.
I might be dead.
You could be. We might be dead.
I give you permission to kill me.
Okay.
Although I would love to be back on the show, so maybe not.
We'll have you back as standard Mixon.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
GLENALLEN, like, my boy.
I'm picturing the dad.
Boy.
The dad from the end of No Country for Old Men that he visits.
The guy from Evening Shade.
Like Tommy Lee Jones, the most impossibly old man in the world. And then he is a dad.
Then they bring in the general from War Games. Yeah, he's the one who's like, DEFCON 3.
Yeah, let's take it. That guy is 100% dead. 100%.
Is Dabney Coleman in that movie or the other guy?
Not.
Dabney Coleman is in War Games. No, Dabney Coleman is in War Games.
He is?
I used to always confuse Gerald McRaney with Dabney Coleman.
Sure, Sergeant Dad himself.
At Full Frontal, and Joe Grossman, who Jason probably knows.
Oh, I love Joe.
Always corrected me. And like Jason's kind of a quiet guy, but he would always perk up when I got confused Dabney Coleman. Joe Grossman, yeah.
My
one was married to Delta Burke.
My favorite Dabney Coleman movie, though, is Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
I gotta rewatch that. That's the kind of movie you know those movies when you have like the vaguest of recollections of watching, but like you can't even Google it because you don't remember. That was for the longest time. I was like half asleep. It was 2 a.m. I was like 11 years old. I remember like a video game cartridge was at the center of this movie.
I have it on VHS somewhere, like tapes from HBO.
Oh,
and
that's
definitely
even better.
The old lady's hand freaked me out as a kid.
The hand always gets me. The hand always got me as a kid.
It was up there with Superman 3 Robot Lady.
Yeah.
Making me nauseous.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Cassels, our guest on this episode of 108.9 The Hawk. Of course, you know Pat from Collegehumor. You know Pat from, he wrote on the Full Frontal with Samantha B for many years with my wife, Kristen Bartlett. You guys shared an office for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the last, which was great. She was great. We watched many hours of daytime news and in that office. I was hired before the first episode aired, but I was one of the last writers hired, and just I was sort of the office that, like, if a new person came, it just tended to be my office. So I was I always said, like, either everyone that was in my office like went on to bigger and better things, or I was so horrible of an office mate. I pushed people to succeed so they could escape my office and other jobs.
Well, I know from personal experience and from being married to Kristen Bartlett, she loved being in that office. She had so much fun in that office. You guys had like an idea board of all of the ideas you guys would come up with during
but to be clear, not for the show. Inventions, yes.
Like Shark Tank style?
Shark Tank, exactly like Shark Tank style,
100%. There's a question we ask everybody that comes on The Hawk. What is your relation to classic rock?
My relation to classic rock.
Yeah. Did you grow up listening to it? Was there a particular classic rock station that you loved as a kid? Like
101.5 WPDH in the Hudson, like Poughkeepsie, New York.
Okay.
Which is near where I grew up. That was the class. I actually did. I think I tended to prefer that station. I was kind of like a weird kid who preferred kind of like mostly old music. I would listen to like that station. I had like it was literally just a radio. It was like no cassette player. That was definitely my jam. I love that radio. It's probably still kicking. I can't remember who the DJs were. It might have been Wolfman in the Morning.
Oh, a syndicated Wolfman Jack?
I know, it's weird, right?
Probably,
no, I'm good Lord. It was Woodman in the Morning.
Oh, Woodman in the Morning. Okay, let's look this up.
Woodman in the Morning,
what is the name what was the station?
101.5 WPDH.
We might have a Woodman come in.
I'm looking it up here. Does it still exist?
Around?
Does it still exist?
Yeah.
Looks
and
like
that was your main station?
For me, it was. I mean, K104, and again, probably still exists. That played the hits. Mm-hmm. But I was kind of I don't know. I'm not. I just was not like a cool kid. I don't know. I definitely, for some reason, preferred old. I'm not just trying to sound like, I was cool and alt. I like old style. I was a genius or whatever. Like it was not anyone's thinking that. But
I'm looking at it right now. So it is.
My dad, for many years, my dad is a musician, and for many years he was a wedding singer, in a wedding band.
Oh, wow.
So he would always be playing songs. I mean, he was an engineer at IBM.
Sure.
And still is actually a brilliant electrical engineer, but he's also, for years, almost every weekend would be playing weddings and stuff. So he always was playing stuff on the piano or the guitar. He had like a small record collection. So I remember it was like Billy Joel's, what album has Scenes from an Italian Restaurant on it? The Stranger? We get Billy Joel's The Stranger.
You're asking the wrong dude right here. I don't even know. I can tell you what album River of Dreams was on.
Oh, so a little later, Joel.
Yeah.
Did you see, by the way?
I'm purely later, Joel.
Did you see Fall Out Boy just released like a new version of We Didn't Start the Fire?
That. Fall Out Boy released a version of a joke.
Do you know Fall Out Boy before I talk about it?
I do not know Fall Out Boy, but they released a version of a joke that's been on Twitter for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Yes. 30
That's
Rock,
a good summary of the Fall Out Boy career.
Yeah.
The drummer is in some great hardcore bands. I will say that.
Here's my review.
Okay.
Here's my really quick review of that album. My main note is that it leans really. It's supposed to cover everything from the original song to today. So 1989, when We Didn't Start the Fire, Billy Joel version came out, to today, covering all the world events. It skews really heavy to like the last 5 or 10 years, which, as my friend noted, a lot has happened in the last 5 years. But you gotta if you're, I think if you listen to the original We Didn't Start the Fire, he's covering he's got Bernie Getz in there, but he's also got like the Vietnam War in there.
Right.
This
is it like COVID-19, 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 coronavirus?
Nothing else happened.
I don't even remember he just mentions I think the only things he says about the entire 1990s is like Captain Planet.
I gotta listen to this now.
And the Unabomber, and that's it.
What if this
then he gets to the 2010s.
What if this becomes the biggest Fall Out Boy hit ever? Like all of their original songs are just pushed aside, and this is the song they're known for. And do you think also that I remember when We Didn't Start the Fire came out, and I was in elementary school, and all the teachers were like, "This is a tool. This is a tool to teach kids what history was like." And and all the teachers
Marilyn
would be like,
Monroe.
"Listen to this song, Marilyn Monroe."
Right. The way the English teachers were like, "Hey, Shakespeare's a lot like rap." Yeah. History teachers have the much lamer. That's already lame, but history teachers have the lamer version of hey, you think history's boring? Listen to this.
Using that teacher would be so terrible. If it's just like JFK blown away, what else do I have to say? And you're like, well,
there's
tell me a little bit more. I need a little bit more information than
also,
that.
my friend Amanda pointed out, she's like, I immediately texted her this song, and she was like talking about more the original Billy Joel version. It's kind of funny that boomers made this song We Didn't Start the Fire, because it's kind of you kind of did.
You started the fire.
We 100% started the fire.
And we're not sorry.
Now that's this version I truly would
That's
love
the
to
boomer
hear.
version. That's the Hawk version. We'll go ahead and do that.
We probably will do the apology version of we're
sorry that we started the fire. We're sorry that we started the fire. We
finally
boomers.
did therapy. Now we realize.
And that's on the Big Chill soundtrack.
Yeah,
yes,
Big Chill
exactly.
soundtrack.
Just William Hurt dancing
taking
around.
me back. Taking me back.
Is he in that movie? Was that a mistake?
I believe so.
Literally, you can name any 80s actor and they were in fucking Big Chill.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, well, Pat, thank you so much for coming on. We've loved having you. I personally think GLENALLEN MIXON is going to survive the bombing.
I think he's alive and well.
The 108.9 The Hawk Studios. We'll find out.
Okay.
We will find out soon, because we'd love to have Glen Allen back. Anything going on? Anything to plug? Or, of course, the writer's strike is still going strong.
Still going strong. I think if you want to learn more about it, or support it, or find it, I think come and show your support. The website, I think, is wgacontract2023.org.
Okay.
Did I double check that? I don't know.
No,
or just Google Writer's Strike 2023.
Yeah.
But it's publicly, it's out there.
Yeah.
But no, at Pat Cassels at Instagram.
Nice.
And I publish some essays and stuff like that from time to time, and movie reviews and weird stuff like that. All that stuff's on my Instagram at Pat Cassels. And just
all right.
Staying strong with the strike.
Yep. And hopefully it will be over soon. Pat, thank you so much for joining us. And if you are listening to 108.9 The Hawk and you want to support 108.9 The Hawk, you can head on over to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/1089 The Hawk all together. And over there, you get Hawk episodes 1 week early. You get extra episodes like Hawk Rock Talk Classic Albums, Album Poll, Art Spart Monster Hunter. The first episode, we've been saying this for a little bit, but it is coming very, very soon.
I trust that it is.
No. I've already been gathering a lot of the sound design stuff for it. It just know that when Art leaves the studio, it's going to be a little different from anything that you've heard on 108.9 The Hawk. So we'll have that come up very, very soon. And Talk to the Hawk was an episode we put up recently. That's our mailbag episode. And unlike other podcasts where it's just the host answering your questions, we do it in character. So Whisp answers questions. Jeff, Greg, Big Truck, Mickey Mac, any character of 108.9 The Hawk can answer your questions, and that's all on our Patreon.
Also, and we'll do more of those, and only our Patreon members will be able to ask questions and hear that episode, which legitimately one of our Patreon members said, this is the best episode I've ever heard.
Yeah, and it's literally answering your questions. Like one of the questions was something like, how many times has Wisp been married? And Wisp names them all. Wisp talks about the one person he's been married to twice.
So if you want more lore, get in that Patreon.
More lore. And of course, you can give us a review. How would that happen, Jeff? I don't know how that happens.
You got to go wherever you listen to podcasts, and you got to give it 5 stars, and you got to write in, this is the song that was ruined by classic rock, and give us an example and say, I love this, Jeff. And if you're giving anything less than 5, get over it, people. What are you doing? And also, don't go to Stitcher, because maybe that doesn't exist if I'm going off of some random email like that.
Stitcher. Yeah, you can't listen to us on Stitcher anymore as of like August something.
So go to Overlast.
Go to Overcast. I know a lot of our listeners listening to us on Overcast. If you can review us there. Apple Podcasts, if you can do a 5-star review there, would be great. Pocket Cast is another place where you can do some reviewing. And then also there's a site called Good Pods that apparently has some good reviews. And
most importantly, though, tell your friends.
Tell your friends if you
and if
like
your friends
this. If
especially
this
work for Vulture.
If you have a friend that works for Vulture,
get us on that list of 10 types of podcasts that they will not stop talking about in a loop.
No,
like we've never heard of them.
I've never heard of this podcast, but I am very happy that the
Hollywood
best show was on
Who?
it. Yeah, congratulations to my other show, the best show with Tom Sharpling, for making the Vulture list this week. Not knocking that in any way
whatsoever. In case you've never heard of
I
the
worked
best
very
show.
hard on that show. Yeah, in case we're part of the best show, this extended universe. We're family, so very proud of that. But yeah, if this show makes you chuckle in any way whatsoever, your friends are probably going to enjoy it too, because you, my friend, have good fucking taste. And we'll see you next time on 108.9
The Hawk.
The Hawk. Mighty Boss Toads.
Can I hit stop on the audio recording? Should I? Okay. I'm going to stay on because I obviously want to